Hi, this is Jeremy Kellett, Director of Recruiting at Oakley Trucking. I am your host for this podcast. This is the Oakley Podcast, Trucking Business and Family. Once again, we come at you from North Little Rock, our studio here. We have a nice little setup, and got a couple of good guests with me today from Arrow Truck Sales that we're going to talk to. And as always, I want our listeners to know we appreciate your dedication of listening to us every week and your presence on social media, that you guys communicate with us and share and subscribe. It means a lot to us. And Annabelle does a heck of a job putting everything out there so everybody can, has access to it. And we appreciate your feedback on everything that we do. Before I get started, though, talking to these gentlemen here, I want to talk to you real quick about truck trades. I was talking to Miss Wendy here in the office about truck trades, and we have guys show up. I mean, it's truck trades every week, multiple truck trades every week where guys are trading up and getting in new trucks, and they're showing up. Well, there's a process to this, and I've gone over this before in the past a little bit, but man, please adhere to the process that we're trying to do. We make it so much simpler for you. If as soon as you know you're ready to trade trucks, please contact Wendy up here in the office, Wendy or Megan, either one, and also Teresa out in the shop. We need to schedule some stuff. You cannot just show up here. It's going to delay you. So the more you plan ahead, the better you're going to be. And the critical thing, I tell you, not just letting Wendy know and letting Teresa know at the shop so we can schedule in shop to get decals off and new decals on, but the biggest thing is the paperwork, the title work. Depending on where you're buying it at, that can be a nightmare and can delay you a lot. So you need to let Wendy know where you're buying the truck from, what dealership, so we can contact them, make sure we can apply for an Oklahoma title so we can get you a base plate if you have that with us. Also, if you're just trading trucks, you don't have to have trip insurance. You're still covered under the insurance if you just trade and bring the truck from the dealership here, so you don't have to have that extra expense. It's just something that, I was talking to Wendy about it, and she definitely wants me to get the word out to everybody on the truck trade deal. It's make the process a whole lot smoother for you, because we love it when you upgrade and are able to upgrade, and it's happening multiple times every week. So, and we appreciate it. And if you got questions, just call up here, ask for Megan or Wendy, call out the shop and ask for Teresa, and we'll get you squared away on what to do. So appreciate you guys doing that.
A used semi-truck is a great way to kick off your career as an owner-operator on a budget, and buying from a reputable dealer like Arrow Truck Sales ensures you're getting a reliable truck that fits your needs. They carry trucks from all the major manufacturers in the trucking industry and perform a thorough inspection of every truck on their lot to ensure safety and quality, and give you confidence that you're getting a reliable truck that will last you for years at a price that you can afford. Being a longtime partner with Oakley Trucking and the Oakley Podcast, we trust them to provide our owner-operators with a truck that fits their needs and matches our qualifications. So whether you're a first-time owner-operator or just looking for a new-to-you rig, be sure to give Keith Wilson and Trey Visor a call at 573-216-6047 and let them know you heard it here on the Oakley Podcast.
Okay, today in studio, I have Mr. Brock Gavin, President of Arrow Truck Sales, and also Scott Taylor, Vice President of Operations. And these guys were nice enough to sit down with me. They actually, I tried to kind of sneaky get them in here because they contacted last week, so they was coming down, wanted to meet us, and the guys, me and the recruiters here at Oakley, and I said, man, it'd be great, make an appointment. And then the day before they come, I sent them an email trying to put a little pressure on them. Hey, do you mind being on the podcast with me? So it's, and they said yes. So it's really great that you guys set up here and talk about Arrow Truck Sales with me. I want to first thank you for being a sponsor to this podcast for just about since it started. I guess since it started in the very beginning. I mean, y'all are the first sponsor to do it, and you've hung in there and sponsored us every episode since then, and we really appreciate you guys and what y'all do in our partnership between Arrow and Oakley. It means a lot, so we thank you. Brock, you doing all right?
I'm doing well, Jeremy.
Scott, you doing good?
Great morning.
If you would, give me a little introduction so our listeners know who they're talking to. or listening to, and it makes a lot of difference and goes a long way. You want to start with you, bro?
Sure. First, thanks, Jeremy, for the opportunity. Nice to be here. Yeah, thanks for the heads up. A whole day's notice, but we're good. We enjoy the opportunity. So, Brock Gavin, president of Aero Truck Sales, as you mentioned. Been in that role for about 3 years. We're based out of Kansas City, Missouri. Branches all over the U.S. and some in Canada, but based out of Kansas City. Been in trucking for about 10 years. Some other roles on the new truck side of the world, Volvo and Mack. Also worked in agricultural equipment, commercial power tools. So I've always been close to the trade and using tools to get the job done. So trucking is a good fit for me. Moved out to Kansas City from the East Coast. Young family, married, 2 girls, 9-year-old and 5-year-old.
Nice.
Enjoying life. It's busy though.
I bet it is with those two.
Yeah, for sure.
Hobbies?
I like to be outdoors, so this is a good time of year, right? Spring is here, or spring is coming, and if I can get outdoors and do a little hiking, trail running.
Yeah, that seems to be a common theme amongst us office workers.
Yeah,
get outside
as much as we can, right?
Yeah. What about you, Scott Taylor?
Well, Scott Taylor, thanks for letting me be on your podcast, Jeremy.
You bet. Glad you did it.
And I'm a 40-year veteran in trucking. I started in transportation in 1984 when we didn't have the internet and we didn't have cell phones. And it was knock on door and get in your car and go find the next guy. But I've been in involved in either sales management in trucks since the beginning. So I've been with Aero 13 years all in. I've been a branch manager at Aero. I've been a regional manager at Aero. And at the beginning of the year, I changed my role to operations. So now I'm more involved in the legals, warranty, real estate, anything that comes my way. I like used trucks, and I want to stay in that business.
So new little role here for you.
New role for me.
How's that going?
Good.
I mean, it's just March, so I mean you're fresh into it.
Well, no, it was a year and March. So
okay.
We're in
year.
14 months into
Gotcha.
it. So,
okay.
Well, one of my most fun things is opening up a new store here in Little Rock, Arkansas.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that too.
Yeah.
That's going to be real good. What made you guys get in the trucking industry? I mean, it's a niche I think that a lot of people don't know about, of all the jobs that are employed by the transportation industry. I mean, what made y'all want to get into the trucking industry? Brock?
Sure,
Scott, it don't matter.
Yeah, I'll start. Scott, you jump in. So for me, it was just a natural evolution. So I mentioned just a couple of minutes ago, I started out in commercial power tools, on job sites, commercial job sites, selling industrial products through dealers to tradespeople. Went into agricultural equipment, learned that business, big equipment, big diesel engines, selling through dealers rather. And it was a natural evolution to get into trucking about 10 years ago. And what's not to like about it? Using these highly engineered tools, let's say, to get a job done and to carry out an important function in our society, right? Moving freight from A to B and keeping this country rolling.
It's addictive, isn't it?
It is.
I mean, it really is addictive. What about you, Scott?
Well, my story's similar. My dad sent me to college. I'm from small town America, farm guy, and I wanted to be in agriculture. But when I graduated from school, interest rates were 20-some%. Agriculture was in a pretty tough shape. And one of my roommates in college, his family owned a truck dealership. And after interviewing around, I found, I think trucks fit me. I love motors. I love gears. I love muscle cars. And I jumped into truck sales, and I've never looked back.
That's awesome. Now, where are you from? Did you tell me?
Northwest Missouri.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. And family?
I have a son and a daughter, 25 and 28, and they're both getting married this year. So
big time.
Big time.
Okay.
A lot of pressure at the Taylor house.
A lot of How's your wife handling that?
She's better than I am.
A lot of pressure. Well, good. Well, glad to have you guys here. Glad you're in the trucking industry for sure. Let's talk a little bit, because I wanted to do this episode to really promote Aero Truck Sales. I mean, not just our relationship, but the company as a whole. And you guys were telling me downstairs, we were talking to the recruiters about next year is going to be number 75.
Yes.
Is that right?
That's
Yes.
right. That's right.
What do y'all know about the history of Arrow?
If you don't mind, I'll
Yeah,
tell.
please.
So Arrow was started by two gentlemen in 1955, and their first foray into used, they were importing some trucks from World War II, and they started
Wow.
in downtown Kansas City. And once they got through that thing, they started buying. They wouldn't buy anything over $2,000. That was their rule of thumb. They did a lot of pickup trucks and older trucks, and they would buy them, but they wouldn't pay over $2,000. And they started really getting quite a bit of traction. So over the years, Arrow evolved into a wholesale company. We've kind of had two big transitions, but in the 70s, it wasn't uncommon to have a lot of large private fleets, tremendous amount of large private fleets. And believe it or not, a lot of them were funded by life insurance companies, because all the life insurance companies had a lot of money at that time. But once they financed a group of trucks for a big company, they came back, whether it would be a finance lease or a whatever kind of lease it was, they had nowhere to go for them. So Arrow was a wholesale company, and it wasn't uncommon for them to buy 1,000 trucks at a time, and then they wholesaled them off. And I remember in the late 90s buying 2,500 trucks from Ryder,
Oh, my gosh.
yellow trucks. I remember we bought them all because they had to get rid of them, and we retailed them all through our stores. Well, the next year came around, and all these customers that bought trucks wanted them, but we couldn't buy them again. So we evolved a lot, but somewhere in the late 90s, we evolved into more of a finance company, and we took the opportunity because there was the industry was changing.
Mm-hmm.
The private fleets were going away, owner-operators were expanding, so we set up our finance company, and that's really what's taken Arrow from the late 90s to what it is today, is our transport funding arm. So we've evolved more of a wholesale company. We're now a retail company, focused more on the owner-operator and the financing.
And that's just that. When did transport funding come about? Was that back in the 90s?
98,
something like
sound
that?
about right, Brock?
Yeah, 97 officially started.
So, as a company that's been in business a long time, I mean, I'm assuming y'all feel good and confident. I mean, you wouldn't be there if you didn't. But the stability of Arrow Truck Sales, I mean, it sounds like it's got a great background.
Sure. We always say one thing: we can fix anything with the truck.
Yeah.
It's the trucks are there; they break. We can fix them. There's other things that you can't, but the one thing we know about is trucks. We know how to finance them. We know how to recondition them and sell them.
Yeah, I was going to say, Jeremy, it's an interesting question, right, or comment about the stability, because as anybody who's worked in trucking knows, it's a highly cyclical business, right? Lots of ups, lots of downs, and it's important to be able to ride through those, sustain through those, and there are those in the industry that can't do that, right? That jump on board on the upcycle and have a hard time when things level out. And Arrow's been here for almost 75 years, and so we're proud of that. Riding through the cycle, taking care of our customers through the ups and through the downs, when some others in the industry have not been successful doing that.
Well, and that's a good point, Brock, because you see those ups and downs, and that they can be critical. They can put small people out of business. Mm-hmm. We've seen just the last recent few years where truck prices skyrocket, used truck prices skyrocket, and then the bottom starts falling out, and a lot of people can't handle that, and it makes it it says something about Arrow when they are able to, and just like Oakley, able to, the last 4 years to be able to maintain that and keep going and keep taking care of their people and taking care of their customers. And it makes a big difference to have the people in the background supporting you.
It takes a lot of mental fortitude to get through it, and that's one of the beauties. When you've been around as long as Arrow, we understand the cycle, and we know how to get from one point to the next.
Yeah, if you don't understand the cycle, if you haven't been through some cycles, it can sure be like, oh my gosh, the world's coming to an end. What are we going to do?
And I think one of the things, and Scott mentioned it, makes Arrow unique, and it's related to what we're talking about here, is that financing business. So our transport funding business, and we are loaning out money to our customers to make that purchase. It's not a one-time deal where we make the sale to a customer, they walk out the door, and we say rather than doing business with our customers, we're in business with our customers because we loan them money for 2, 3, 4 years while they're carrying that note, and it's important to us that they're successful.
So, transport funding is in-house financing?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's a subsidiary of Aero Truck Sales. So we secure the funding, we make the loans, we carry the paper, as they say. We collect the monthly payments, and when customers get in trouble, we try to help them out, help them through it.
You mean you just don't sell a used truck and say, see ya?
That's right. That's right.
Gone.
Yeah, we wouldn't do that anyway.
Kidding. We know that.
But the financing business keeps us all honest, right? Because we want those customers to be successful. So I know you're making a joke, but no, we want to stick with our customers through the life cycle of that product.
Well, and that makes sense if I'm somebody wanting to buy my first truck or second truck, and I want to go with somebody that has the in-house financing that I can communicate with. Instead of a third party, and then they sell that loan off, and who knows who owns my truck. It makes it feel a lot better if I'm able to talk to the people that actually have the loan on the truck that I bought it from. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
I mean, that makes a difference to me.
We have our own in-house collection team, and they deal directly with the individual. Mm-hmm. And when there are troubled times, which there will be,
yep,
we try to work together to get a solution that's beneficial for everybody. So you're not going to be talking to somebody who's not a transport funding employee.
LubeZone has been servicing single trucks and truck fleets for more than 20 years across 12 locations nationwide. LubeZone specializes in quick, full-service oil changes that take approximately 30 to 40 minutes. They also offer tractor-trailer grease, gearbox service, generator service, reefer service, and DOT inspections. They aim to go the extra mile when it comes to quality control. This means your tractor is checked not only once, but 2 times to ensure all service and parts meet their guaranteed quality and standards. No other service center knows semi-trucks better than LubeZone. If your truck needs serviced, check out lubezone.com to find all of their locations, and when you stop by, let them know you heard it here on the Oakley Podcast.
Talking about that, what about the trucking industry right now and the truck market? I mean, you guys talking about it up and down all the time. Where is it at right now?
It's been, to talk about where it is right now, we probably should reflect a little bit, in the last 2-3 years. And everybody, that's all your listeners, no doubt, have had firsthand experience in this, right? But the highest of highs coming out of COVID in late 2020 and 2021. And just a lot of capacity, right, that came into the market. And we'll talk about all segments of the market, but just a lot of capacity that came into the market. And probably in hindsight, and nobody really knew it at the time, too much capacity. So we saw some capacity come out, rightly so, all as challenging as it has been in 2022 and 2023. And we feel like at Aero, and I think others in the industry share this perspective, that 2024 will be a year where we reach some stability, right? Where things are closer to being in equilibrium. There's been a lower demand, I'd say, in the industry. Rates have been a little bit lower, and we're to a point where the supply and demand is starting to come back into balance. So we believe there's more upside in the back half of 2024 and into 2025 in particular. So we're optimistic, cautiously, but optimistic about the next 18 to 24 months. But as you said, it's been a more challenging last 2 years, and certainly more so in some segments of the industry than others.
But you see 2024 just more of getting back to normal type deal.
Yeah.
Pre-COVID type, back to somewhat normal. Has the I know new truck prices, which y'all don't do, that's something probably need to explain to our listeners, is Aero Truck Sales just do used trucks.
That's right.
That's all y'all do. Don't do new trucks. But has the price of new trucks are still high. I'm assuming it's got to help your business.
Yeah, there is a relationship between new truck pricing and used truck pricing for sure. 2 years ago, though, those became unlatched, right? Because it was so hard to get a new truck. The used truck prices, you mentioned it, went sky high, and that was, seemed like a interesting opportunity at the time, but that was really probably unhealthy to have prices that high. And so it's good that they've come back to earth. And I'd say on the used side of things now, pricing is pretty well back to where it was kind of pre-COVID and pretty stable. Maybe there's a little bit more room to go, but we're almost there. As you said, on the new truck side, there's been price increases the last couple of years, whether it's, surcharges related to supply chain, but, it could be 10, 15% premium versus what it was, 3 years ago. And those prices are still there. So as you said, that could flow through into the used market, and that could be beneficial down the road. However, we work in a competitive marketplace, so prices rise and fall, but it's a market. So the margins associated with those trucks remain relatively constant.
What's the biggest chat? I get off our questions. I'm sorry, but I get
no
thinking
problem
about it. Some of the challenges. Scott, maybe that you have, I would think it would be buying used trucks at a price before the market goes crazy, or I guess goes down to where I can make a profit on that. I mean, is that one of y'all's biggest challenges right there?
Well, yes.
I may not be describing it right, but
I understand what you're saying, and we watch everything. We're always watching spot rates, diesel prices, new truck build, used truck inventory across the country, and we have to make good strategic decisions based on what we feel is going to happen. And one thing that we want to do is always be buying and selling on today's dollars, so it's fair to Arrow and fair to our customers. So we have a team of guys that are buying trucks daily, and it's a competitive game. But if you're in it and every day and understand it, we tend to don't get me wrong, sometimes we do make bad decisions, but we try to make more good ones than not.
Yeah, that's probably some of the biggest challenges, I guess. And you get that feedback from your buyers and from the managers at the locations. How many locations y'all got?
So we have 16 locations, 15 in the U.S., and one up in Canada, in Toronto. And then, as Scott kind of alluded to earlier in the conversation, by the end of the year, we'll add a 17th location here in North Little Rock.
Okay. I was gonna ask you about this. Some of the technology in trucks today, which I understand. You probably don't have a whole lot to do with that because you're getting used trucks. So you really, as far as what technology is, there's not a lot of aftermarket technology that's put on them, or is there technology you have to deal with used trucks that maybe is a problem, or do you see that is changing down the road that's going to make a difference in what y'all are doing?
I will say this: there's so much technology in a truck today, way more technology than most all of us understand or appreciate, and it's continuously evolving. And for example, most trucks today that have been built within the last few years have what they call remote diagnostics in them, and that is a subscribable event based on the OEM, whereas if you're going down the road, Jeremy, in your truck today and you get a flashing light, there's a subscription where it would report to the OEM that your truck has a light on. They could actually diagnose that truck from somewhere in a big office, call the dealer ahead. The dealer could have the part ready, so when you pull in. That's where our business is evolving to today.
Really?
We have had struggles over the past. I think everybody that's listening would understand what we've been through with DPF filters and urea. That's been a real challenge. That's improving. But technology will continue to evolve. And those of us who can understand it and get our hand around it, it will help you manage your business.
That the technology, is that something, what you just described, that's something you can't disable. You can't take off the truck, or you wouldn't want to.
It's on there.
I mean,
but
it came from.
It has to be turned on.
Okay.
For example, our parent company, Volvo Mac, they have it on the truck it's a subscription based platform, so that in order to actually use it, you have to pay a fee.
Okay, all right. Kind of like that on your pickup.
Mm-hmm.
I forget what you call it now.
OnStar.
Yeah. If you want that, you got to pay a little extra for it.
Yeah.
I don't want that until I lock my keys in my truck.
Then it's too late.
Then it's too late. I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to get her. That's happened before. Oakley Trucking is a 100% owner-operator company. We specialize in hopper bottom, end dump, and pneumatic trailers. We provide the trailer free of charge, and you provide the truck. We have a large customer base that reaches the whole United States as well as parts of Canada. Our owner-operators live anywhere from Texas to North Carolina to Pennsylvania to Wisconsin and everywhere in between, and we get them home weekends. We take it seriously when you join Oakley Trucking because we need you to be successful. Oakley offers great benefits and competitive mileage pay, so you know that when your wheels are turning, you're generating money no matter if you're loaded or empty. We understand that you want to make a good living and that you make our living. We only take on independent contractors, and to be honest with you, we are very particular on who we lease on. You must have a good driving record, good work history, and clean, dependable truck. So if you're interested in Oakley Trucking or just want some more information, you can go to oakleytrucking.com, listen to our weekly podcast, The Oakley Podcast, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. You know, one of the big things, of course, one of the big reasons we're partnered with you guys is your attention to customer service and customer satisfaction. And, you talked to me, you talked to the recruiters this morning. I mean, that's a big deal with us, service after the sale. And, you guys do a fantastic job, and especially Keith Wilson, Trey Visor, that we deal with all the time. I mean, how important is that to you guys, and what do you do to make sure that's done? I mean, I know what Keith and Trey do because I talk to them, but from the head, president, vice president of sales, what do you guys do to make sure that customer is satisfied?
Yeah, no, it's a great question, and thanks for teeing it up, because it is one of the things that we're really focused on, and it's a big part of the partnership that we've had for the last 15 plus years. So I'll start, and then Scott can chime in, but it goes all the way back to how we buy trucks, right? We talked a little bit about that, buying from reputable fleets, buying the right trucks for our customers. Certainly, it's related to the type of reconditioning that we do before we would ever put that truck into the hands of our customers and your drivers. So we do a significant amount of reconditioning, bring it up to meet or exceed DOT standards, do those inspections. And while that gives us a solid baseline, you mentioned after the sale, right? Because we, sometimes things happen after the sale. So every retail truck that we sell, or the vast majority of the retail trucks we sell, come with a 90-day Aero warranty, called Confidence Plus warranty, in case anything happens in the first 90 days. And we mean that. We stand by it. We also work with third parties to offer extended protection plans. It would be pretty common, right, for one of your drivers to be operating this new truck for 3 years, 4 years, whatever it is, kind of take it up towards 900,000 miles, whatever it is. And so we offer protection plans that are extended for that, to cover that period of time as well. And we really encourage our customers and your drivers to do that, because something might happen. Something does happen from time to time. And
it's going to happen.
It's going to happen. It's a matter of time,
yeah,
right? And so we're pretty upfront with our customers about that. We, as I mentioned earlier, because of the way we do business, both our philosophy, which is big on customer retention, customer referrals, partnerships, long term, right, win-win, and because of our finance business, we truly want our customers to succeed. So we're very upfront on the front end, trying to set our customers up and coaching them on those protection plans, warranties. And then when we finally get to that moment, and this is a segue, I'll hand it over to Scott, our warranty department, our customer service department will step in at corporate, and as you mentioned, our branch managers, salespeople, in this case Trey Visor, Keith Wilson, you mentioned, will also step in and help. So Scott manages our warranty business, our customer service center. So Scott, maybe you can build on that.
Sure. When we do have a situation, it usually comes into our department, our 90-day warranty department. And the first thing we always do is go back to the truck to see the life of the truck since Arrow's owned it. And by that, I'll go back and look at all the work orders to make sure that our managers followed the process to recondition the truck and get it to terms. And that's real important to us because we want to know what we're selling to our customers. And there are times, you're right, Jeremy, you're going to have problems with used trucks. So once we go through the evaluation to make sure we did everything that we were supposed to do, we then want to look at the work orders so we can help through the situation. If it's a coverable item under our 90-day warranty, we'll immediately write a purchase order and pay whatever shop you're at to fix your truck. If it's a third-party warranty, we'll work with you to get that expedited so that you don't have downtime. And if there's any misunderstanding or any kind of areas that you want to talk about a third-party warranty that you need help with, we're here to help manage you through it. So it's at our best interest to help you get through your problems because we're partners, and like Brock said, we're financing these trucks for you, and we want to see that everybody succeeds.
Well, and with you having the sales background and, doing that forever, you want to sell a good truck.
Right.
You want them to be successful and make a good living and not have problems. I mean, the last thing y'all want is problems with a truck, but it is a used truck. It's some of the problems you have, Scott, with the owner of the truck maybe taking it and getting it fixed without you knowing, because I know we've had that issue before where they take it somewhere they shouldn't have taken it, or they don't tell you they took it. We have that all the time. I didn't know I was supposed to call, Keith if it was just this happened or that happened, and next thing you know, those little things lead up to a big thing. Because you were telling me last night that what's the first thing you ask?
May I see all your work orders?
Yep.
I always start there because it's usually the third work order before I get involved.
Yeah.
And the sooner you can get us involved to help, the quicker we can give you some good direction. And I'll tell you guys, Arrow averages between 450, 500 trucks a month. And believe it or not, we see maybe one or two tough trucks a month that really get to my level. So we do our best to see that we're putting out a good product, and it's important when you do have a breakdown to slow down and think about it. With today's emissions, especially sensors and DPFs and all the things we've all been through, it can be easily misdiagnosed once, twice.
Yeah.
So if you just slow it down, we got some journeyman technicians in my department that can slow down and help. So don't ever. It doesn't cost you anything to call our department and ask for some direction.
Right. We talked about cycles earlier, and these used trucks that you guys have been through some tough cycles with these emissions and sensors and DPF you mentioned. Do you feel like we're on the other side of that yet with these new emissions and stuff?
I will tell you it's greatly improved, and I can certainly look at model year trucks and see a reduction in certain model years.
Can you? That's what I'm asking. Yeah.
Yes, and to answer your question, yes, it's improved greatly, especially in the last
So you're seeing
3
less
years.
problems with the newer trucks?
Yes.
Than with the older ones?
Correct.
It's just taking them a long time to figure it out.
It's taking them a long time.
I mean, what are they doing up there? It's taking them forever to figure out the major issues and to fix them. But I think, do you think we're going to see that, 10 years from now, we're going to go, man, how'd we get through year 10 to 15 or 10 to 18? What do you think, bro?
Well, I think that I agree with Scott's point that we've come over sort of the first hill of new technology, emissions technology, and some of the related challenges with that, and we're in a more stable position. That's great. We see it in the warranty data, and at the same time, we know that this is going to continue to change, right? So I don't think anybody should be thinking, "Gosh, we're done with this. We got through it. We're done. We can wipe our hands clean." We know the regulatory environment is a challenging one. And
anything specifically that you're dreading?
I would say, we'll see I wouldn't say dreading. That's probably too harsh of a word, because it's a reality. It's going to happen over time. But I do think as we the emissions requirements continue to get more and more strict, right? And we've got a big hurdle here in 2027. And then there's the mandates around zero emission vehicles, which will ultimately impact us. Now, exactly the timeline and exactly to what degree, nobody knows, but it is coming. Yeah. And that's a whole new ball game at that point. We're talking totally new technologies, and whether that's battery electric, or whether that's hydrogen combustion, or whether that's hydrogen fuel cell, some combination. The world will change. It's just a matter of timing and degree. So I think we'll have more changes to manage through. But currently, we just take a step at a time, and we're in a pretty stable position currently.
Yeah, that's going to be exciting to have a place here.
It's been a process.
You going to come down and work it with us, Scott?
Sure. If somebody take me duck hunting this fall,
we can do that.
We go fishing.
Yeah, definitely can do that. We got to do some
I might be here more than you want me to be here.
That's okay. What do you guys see, to wrap it up, what's Aero truck look like next 5-10 years?
So, our core will stay the same. What we're out to do, what we're out to accomplish, and really serving our customer. It's heavily based on the owner-operator business. Yeah. We're into small fleets as well, and we just want to continue to support that community, that segment, in the best way we possibly can. Build on our 75 years, get to 80, get to 85, mm-hmm. right? Continue. There'll be some evolution, no doubt. You mentioned technologies. That's going to start to affect us, the new technologies. I talked a little bit about growth and footprint, so we'll be in a bit more of an expanded position 5-10 years from now. There's some other things that for us to think about, in our financing portfolio, other potential services. Scott talked about connectivity of trucks, remote diagnostics, things like that, is there an opportunity in the secondary market for our customers to be better connected, and can we play a role in helping, set those customers up for success as that truck goes on into its second life. So at its core, we stay committed, to our principles, our values, which are rooted strongly in customer success and partnership and long-term relationships. We're big believers in win-win, and often that's win-win-win, because it's us, it's partners like you at Oakley that we believe in, and our customers. So our values will stay the same, and our business model will evolve and expand slightly to better meet the needs of our customers.
I like it. I like it because I can tell, just the conversation, you guys see the big picture. There's a lot of people that can't see the big picture of where it is with just, customer satisfaction and growth and standards and, keeping your values. I mean, that means a lot to a lot of people too, and a lot of people that's listening to this. I think it's a great opportunity. Y'all came up here and let our listeners hear about Aero Truck Sales from the president, vice president. It makes a big difference, and I appreciate you guys coming up here. Anything else you want to add?
From my side, just thank you for the opportunity today. It's fun, right?
Yeah.
We don't get to do this every day, so appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah.
And then more importantly, more broadly, thank you for the ongoing partnership.
Yeah.
We really value it. This is what we're looking for. This is our ideal type of partnership. It's long-term. It's mutually beneficial. We get to do something together. So thanks for the opportunity. We look forward to many more years to come.
You bet. Appreciate it. Scott, anything?
Well, just thanks for the opportunity, Jeremy.
No,
appreciate it.
Thank you guys, too. Hey, I appreciate everybody listening to the Oakley Podcast. Once again, a great episode coming at you. If you ever got any questions, you listen to an episode and it makes you think of some questions, send me a message. Call me up, email me. I'll put you in touch with these guys. They'll be glad. They're very approachable, and we'll talk to you, and we'll try to get all your questions answered. And I'm excited about a new Aero location coming later this year here in Little Rock, Arkansas. So appreciate everybody listening. Thank you once again. We'll talk to you next week. Thanks.